me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today.
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. 'Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here, am I on? Can somebody respond?
It must be Wednesday. I called it hump day.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Hump day.
Guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, baby, it is hump day in the dog, huh? Glad that you are with us on this steamy summer day. What is it, 97 degrees now? Maybe? I don't know. Heat indexes hitting triple digits. Hey, enjoy it. Listen, if you're working outside, seriously, if you're working outside, be careful, will you? I mean, hydrate, be careful. Anything you need to do outside. Later on, after work today, I'm going to cut the grass. I'm so stoked because I got my mower back from Buchanan's yesterday afternoon, and right before they closed, I did a couple of test passes, and my mower came back like new. I mean, for 300 beans, I got my mower back like new. They completely redid my deck. I had a broken spindle. No, I had a bearing that was broken out of spindle. I'm letting the spindle drop. They redid that, packed that, leveled the deck, new blades. I'm stoked. I get excited about fresh cut grass, my friends. I am stoked. Anyway, I'm glad that you are with us. We got some hot topics to cover today. And we got room to get you in on this exercise in radio excellence. At least we'll give it a shot anyway. As I've often said, I want to be the one that sucks on the show. I'm the one that needs to be the worst in this show. So, not you guys. So if you're ready to get in, phone lines are open at 256-576-4977. You can text the show, 732-9TA show. 732-982-7469. Great way to communicate with us. My Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show, Twitch and Facebook, 97.7 ESPN. YouTube, 97.7ESPN.com. Are you getting the vibe here? Are you getting the vibe? Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get the notifications. Go to 97.7ESPN.com and get links to all of that stuff. And while you are at it, get the app. There is where you will find links to Zone 2, Zone 3, Zone 4, as well our alternate streaming channels for more great programming. So Auburn's outstanding baseball season came to an end last night, hammered by the Hogs. And now we have a Final Four with 3 SEC teams and a soon-to-be SEC team with only 1 seeded team left, and that's number 5 seed Texas A&M, who will play Oklahoma right here at 1 today. Now, the Aggies need to beat the Sooners twice, today and then tomorrow if necessary, to advance to the championship series. Tonight at 6, Arkansas faces the same uphill climb against an Ole Miss team that is yet to lose a game in the entire tournament. Friggin' SEC West, man. I mean, think about it. 300 teams in the country. Okay, 299. Let's call it 300 teams. 300 teams in the country play Division I baseball. And 3 of the Final 4 are from one division of one conference. And Oklahoma's coming. We know there's not going to be divisions when Oklahoma gets there. But if they did, it would be the SEC West. That would mean all 4. Yeah, everybody talks about what Oklahoma and Texas are going to mean to the league in football. What is Oklahoma and Texas going to mean to the league in basketball? What is Oklahoma and Texas going to mean to the league in baseball? Hell, Oklahoma won the softball World Series. They got a chance. Grizz thinks that they're going to win to do the daily double, that they're going to win both the baseball and the softball. Could happen. We'll see. I'm squeezing for the current SEC teams. Really don't care which one. Ole Miss story is a blast. Because it makes you think that, look, I'm not being a homer when I say Alabama should have won over Ole Miss. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I really am not. I mean, there was a lot of reasonable people that said Alabama should have went to the tournament over Ole Miss. So you wonder if Ole Miss could do this, can Alabama do something like this in the future? Well, keep in mind, Ole Miss was number one in the country at one point in time during the season. Over on Zone 2 tonight, Game 3 between the Braves and the Gigantes as a beer league softball game broke out last night in Atlanta. They put the kegger on second. Everybody that makes it to second gets a shot out of the kegerator. I mean, Monday we had this classic pitcher's duel. Remember? 2-1. And last night, the Braves got 2 homers from Matt Olson, plus a homer from Marcell Ozuna, and one from Ronald Acuna Jr., and lost the game 12-10. I'd rather lose 12-1 than 12-10. You feel like you wasted 10 runs. I mean, that's like 3 days' worth of runs. I'd play the highlight package for you. Well, the thing's like 6 minutes long. It's like War and Peace. Just take the rest of the show off and play the highlight package from that thing. Jock Peterson got a homer for the Giants, his 15th of the year. That had to feel pretty good after Jock got his ring yesterday for being part of that Atlanta team last year for 20 minutes. Jock Peterson, raked. All right, coming up in a few minutes, another Carey's Corner with Trash Panda play-by-play man Josh Carey. Trash Pandas have won the first half title, guaranteeing a spot in the Southern League playoffs, and got the roadie in Birmingham started with a win last night. They're 9th in the last 10 games. They're a Trash Panda record 16 games over 500. We'll talk some Major League Baseball with them as well, as usual. You know, the Trash Pandas do a great job with information. Their PR guy, Aaron, does a tremendous job keeping us in information. But sometimes I have to ask him questions because he keeps saying franchise record this, franchise record that. And I'm like, franchise record or Trash Panda record? Because this team was the Mobile Bay Bears. When you talk franchise records, you're talking about the history of the franchise, which goes back to their days as the Mobile Bay Bears, playing in Hank Aaron Stadium down there in decrepit Mobile. Well, the Mobile's not totally decrepit. The stadium is. The Mobile's kind of decrepit, but the stadium is. I don't even know if it's still up. Think they tore that thing down? Did they tear down the stadium, the Peebles Stadium? Are they tearing down Peebles? Or are they leaving it up for something, like high school games or something? Because didn't the Senior Bowl move over to the new stadium at South Alabama? I thought the Senior Bowl moved to the new stadium at South Alabama. I may be just making that up. I'm looking through the window at Grizz, like looking for a nod or something. He's got the crack research team on it. Put that dude over there on the thing. Cream, or whatever he's calling himself now. Crazy, Goofy. I don't know what he's calling himself. I think it's moved over to South Alabama Stadium. Yeah. Whitney Stadium. A little birdie is talking in my ear. He says Whitney Stadium. At the top of the 11, motorsports writer Jordan Bianchi is back from the Athletic. The left turn, I'm still got a little fog. I got a little brain fog going on still here from the COVID. I got a little bit of brain fog going on. Anyway, Jordan Bianchi coming up from the Athletic. The left turn boys are in Nashville this weekend. Really, Lebanon, east of Tennessee. It's an easy place to get to. It really is. Now, I think I've got truck race tickets for Friday night. I may or I may not. I don't know. And I don't know if there's any tickets left for the Xfinity race. So Grizz is going to have to check the prize bin. I think there might be 2 left for the Xfinity race. I don't know. Maybe I will, hook you up with those. He says maybe nothing. Maybe I got nothing. I don't know. But I might have them. I'm not sure. I'll have to check. And ESPN.com has come up with a new way to evaluate college football programs over the next 3 years. We got to take a look at that. I think it's kind of fascinating. Over the next 3 years, it takes in your recruiting classes, who you already got in the hopper, your coaching staff. It gets a little tricky with Alabama. Do we think that Nick Saban is going to be the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide for the next 3 seasons? I mean, we are really at that point now where, I mean, those of you that think that he's going to be coaching until he's 80 are myopic. I mean, you got to have to back away. You got to start thinking, really, when is it going to end? He's 70, okay? So, and he's a very spry 70, and he loves it. There's no doubt about it. But 3 years, 73. So they evaluate these programs for 22, 23, and 24. And they evaluated the quarterback room, the offense, the defense, and it came up with an overall ranking for the next 3 years. Not they're going to win these championships or whatever, because championships, games are games. That's why you play the games. But just saying, okay, this is the best program in the country for the next 3 years, second, third, fourth, down to 25. I'll share that with you. And tomorrow night, Jabari Smith is the favorite to be the number 1 pick in the NBA draft to the Orlando Magic. And that would be a first for Auburn. Auburn has never had a basketball player selected first overall. Walker Kessler is also going to be a first-rounder tomorrow. And I don't know. Crack research team. Put Crazy Cream or whatever they're calling him over there, Krispy Kreme. He came up with, I got to ask Grizz. I know he came up with a different nickname that he wants to use, but I forget it. Is it Krispy Kreme? I think it's Krispy Kreme. Crash? Like Crash Davis? Maybe that's it. I like Krispy Kreme better. I don't know if the Tigers have ever had 2 guys go in the first round. I mean, I doubt it. Have they ever had 2 guys in the first round? I don't know. And what about J.D. Davison out of Alabama? ESPN has him in the middle of the second round to the Timberwolves. That kid needed another year in Tuscaloosa. He could have been a top 10 pick if he matured his game a little bit. I think he needed another year. It's not like he needed to leave for money, right? I mean, he'd be a popular NIL guy, wouldn't he? Probably doesn't like going to school. I mean, I don't know. But you'd think that J.D. Davison he could have been a top half of the first round guy. Now he's the middle of the second round. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. All right, so we got a number of things to cover. Over there in a little glass room, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax and answering the phones and keeping us on the air, bossing Krispy Kreme around. It's DJ Grizzy Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. That Tom? Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. All right? It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Grumpy reminds us that if Ole Miss can pull this off, the state of Mississippi will have back-to-back World Series champs. I think about that for a minute. That state's got 72 people in it. And
40,000 baseball fans, though.
And they could have and a lot of guys hitting the Jello shots.
Yes.
I mean, they're right there with Arkansas on the Jello shots. And you would think that, now, for those of you that don't know.
Auburn was big on it for a while, but they're gone now, so they can't keep doing it.
They're not even sniffing where these guys are. Auburn had 379 Jello shots.
I saw one where I guess maybe somebody messed with it or they changed it. Maybe they photoshopped it or something. I saw Auburn had like 2,000 at one time.
No, 300, according to Rocco's. So those of you that don't know, Rocco's is a pizzeria in Omaha, and they do the Jello shot challenge. $4.50 per Jello shot bought, and they give $2 of that to the school for charity.
Yeah.
All right, back to the school for charity.
That's good.
So the 2022 Jello shot, and I don't even know what's in the Jello shot. It's got a little bit of alcohol. I don't think it's got much alcohol in a Jello shot.
It's probably
what's in it?
It's probably vodka more than anything.
Do we know what a Jello shot has in it?
That's like I think that's normally what it is.
Are they different flavors? Like, can you get a cherry Jello shot or a grape Jello shot, or is it just red Jello?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, no, I'm sure they put like some kind of flavoring, or it's like some kind of that type of
color.
Jello. Yeah.
A colored Jello in it. So vodka is the drink that is the alcohol that is in a Jello shot?
I think so, because I don't know really what. Yeah. It's
I've
vodka.
never had one.
You wouldn't want anything else, I don't think. I don't
Really?
think you would want to make a Jello shot out of like whiskey or like any other dark liquor. I don't even think you would make it one out of rum, to be honest with you.
I heard there are
just not a
people
big
that
rum
do
fan.
Jello shots off of like a woman's belly or something. I don't know. I've heard of that.
It happens at bars. I've never done it or witnessed it by any means, but that's what I heard anyway, allegedly.
So anyway, Rocco's has their Jello shot challenge going on, where they are basically keeping track of how many Jello shots are bought by each school on behalf of each school. And at this particular point in time, as of last count, Arkansas and Ole Miss, they play each other tonight, right? Arkansas has purchased 6,870 Jello shots.
Whew.
Arkansas fans, 6,870 Jello shots. One guy came in and bought 1,000, 4,500.
Hey,
and dropped like a $500 tip. But he bought 1,000 of them to push them ahead. Ole Miss is second at 57-23. Do you think that there's any Jello shots in the Grove in Oxford on a football Saturday?
Oh, without
Do you think
a doubt.
there might be a Jello shot or 10 or 100?
Yeah, there's
1,000?
There's probably blue and red everywhere. I bet there's people that have their own little area where they're tailgating, and I'm sure they have like them ready to go, or they have it set up. I'm sure plenty of fraternities and sororities do that on the back porch, every game day. I would think, or they're drinking their seltzers, because a lot of these kids nowadays love their seltzers. So it's either White Claw or vodka. It seems like nowadays.
Bad. So Ole Miss has 5,723. Arkansas has 6,870. In third place in the Jello shots is Texas A&M with 1,223. Okay, 1,223. In fourth place is Notre Dame, the hoity-toities.
Oh.
425. Probably green ones, green Jello shots, 425. Then there is Auburn at 379 Jello shots for Auburn, 379. Now,
there's more on a Saturday during football season for sure.
Oklahoma and Texas, they got to get with the program here. You see, they're coming to the SEC. Oklahoma has 375. Texas has 238. These guys are lightweights.
Well, Texas wasn't there long, so they should have something to drink about. You would think they'd hang out for the next couple of days and drown their sorrows or something.
I mean,
they eat their sorrows. It's Jello.
In the SEC, it just means more. We win everything, even the Jello shot challenge. Okay, we win that too. So
the dominant SEC teams are at the top of the Jello shot world.
Yeah. I mean, Texas and Oklahoma.
Means more, like you said.
What the hell are you doing? 375, 230, and then there's Stanford, 170.
Alcohol poisoning. It just means more.
Stanford, which was the number 2 seed. They were the highest ranked team in Omaha. Goodbye, Stanford. Take your 170 Jello shots and go home and hug a tree.
Yes,
Stanford.
Get out of here. They're drinking seltzers.
68-70. Yeah, just means more. Just means more Jello shots. All right, coming up.
IPA school.
What? Who is that? Is that Krispy Kreme coming out of nowhere?
It's Crash.
He wanted his take on what Stanford's probably drinking.
Yeah, I say they're not taking Jello shots over there. They're drinking IPAs.
IPAs and seltzers.
So what would be? First of all, I'm not sure that you can gloss yourself. All right, Cream wants to be Crash. He'd rather be Crash than Cream.
Crash Lowry sounds like a baseball player.
It does. What is and the reason his nickname is Cream is because his given name is Bailey. And when he worked for me as an intern many moons ago, I nicknamed him Bailey's Irish Cream, which became Irish Cream, which just became Cream. So that's why he's Cream. And he says, no, it's Crash. So what I want to know is what would be the impetus behind Crash? What is the story behind that? Why you think Crash fits your skinny ass as a nickname?
No, see, I'm afraid to tell you because I know you're going to make fun of me for it.
Well, why? Why would I ever make fun of a youngin? When have I ever done that?
No, because it's based off of my favorite video game character. That's why. And
oh my God, it's a video game character.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot, man. I grew up. That was
Crash
my childhood. Crash
Bandicoot.
Bandicoot.
So it's not Crash Davis. Not even a sports dude like Crash Davis. Crash. Say it again. Panicky.
Bandicoot.
Bandicoot.
It's an animal.
Yeah.
I like Krispy Kreme better. Crash Vandible.
Bandicoot. Look it up. It's an animal.
Smokey Mike doesn't like Krispy Kreme. He thinks that's bad. He's
Magic Mike. Pushing for the Crash.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Smokey Mike. All right, Smokey Mike's nickname was Magic Mike, and for a while, he was Magic Mike on the production board, and the general manager of our old station said, "What's up with the Magic Mike? We don't want the Magic Mike. That's a bad connotation." Because Magic Mike, who played Magic Mike? Wasn't that one of the?
Channing Tatum?
No.
Oh.
You may be right. Who played Magic Mike? No, I thought it was one of the Wahlberg.
It was one of the Wahlbergs. Yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah, the older one. Yeah, but
Mark Wahlberg.
I'm thinking of the newer one with Channing Tatum. My bad. I'm younger, so.
I think Marky Mark played.
Yeah, I think it was Mark Wahlberg.
I think Marky Mark was
the other one's in Band of Brothers, and the other one owns a burger shop.
So anyway, our old boss at our old station made him stop using the nickname Magic Mike. Now, if you think of Smokey Mike as Magic Mike, if you think of Smokey Mike as a stripper, it does make you want to throw up in your mouth a little bit. I mean, just think about that for a minute, right? I mean, we don't want to see it. We don't even want to see what we can see sticking out of his T-shirt. You know what I mean? I mean, stripper? Really? I mean, Magic Mike? Really? God, I mean, I want to put a paper bag over his head. Two paper bags. 2 paper bags for Magic Mike. One for him and one for me in case his tears. Goodness gracious almighty.
Body shaming.
I am body shaming. I don't know. Crash.
It's okay.
Crash the video game person. What is it? Crash?
Bandicoot.
Bandicoot. Yeah. Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah. Bandicoot. That sounds dirty.
And what are the similarities?
That other word sounds dirty.
What are the similarities between Cream and Crash Bandicoot or whatever the hell it is name? Cream. What makes you think that he is somebody that would emulate you?
Well, I mean,
or you just like the character?
I mean, I would play the games all the time as a kid, and that's actually the nickname my sisters gave me when I was about.
Oh, really?
About 5 or 6, yeah.
Okay, so now it's got a little bit of juice to it. So your sisters called you Crash as a kid?
Yes.
Nah.
There you go.
Still like Krispy Kreme better. All right. Crash, then. So Crash it is. Crash Van de Stoot. Or whatever.
Bandicoot.
I got to look up Crash Bandicoot.
It's Canadian.
Is it a skinny guy with blue eyes? I don't know. Crash Bandicoot?
I think it's like a marsupial or something like that. I think that's like the basically it's like a big rat or I don't know. It's like a big.
It's not like all yoked
like
or
a big
something,
squirrel or something. I can't remember what a bandicoot is.
It's not like got big shoulders and traps. He's not like yoked or anything like that. I hope.
Yeah, the
Can't be
character.
nicknaming yourself after a guy that's yoked when you're.
Yeah, the
when
character. Well, the character's goofy though too, so he's like goofy built.
When you weigh 135 pounds, soaking wet, like Crash.
He can make you laugh and snap your neck.
Which one of your sisters had to hold your hand when you took a shower so you didn't go down the drain?
Yeah, no, a bandicoot is like a little, like a bandicoot is like a little. It's like a bigger rat. Look it up.
Oh, a bandicoot
it's a small
is a thing?
marsupial. Yeah, look it up.
Coot? How do you
That's
spell?
what I thought it was right.
I'm into vandalism is what I got right now.
B-A-N-D-I-C-O-O-T.
Say it. What was the last part?
B-A-N-D-I-C-O-O-T.
D-I-C. Bandicoot.
No, ban with a B.
Oh, with a V. Bandicoot. No. I thought it was like Vanderbilt.
no. Yeah, like B as in boy.
Coot. I don't know.
Learning.
I don't know. I'm not coming up with it.
Yeah, B-A. No, boy. B as in boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, bandicoot.
Yeah. B-A-N-C-I. C-I. Coot.
No. B-A-N-D-I.
Oh, D-I. Bandy.
Yeah, bandy.
Bandy.
Like brandy without an R.
Coot.
Yeah.
Bandy cut.
It's C-O-O-T.
You have to send me a link to it.
Okay.
Bandy. Bandy like Bambi? All right, I call him Bambi. He looks more like Bambi than he looks like a bandicoot. Krispy Kreme, Bambi.
Bandicoots.
Like Bambi the deer.
Krispy Kreme bandicoots.
I'm never going to win.
No, you are not. I mean, because Crash is Crash Davis, man. Crash is Crash Davis. I mean, Crash Davis is like the coolest guy in the history of minor league baseball. Right? There's nobody that's ever played minor league baseball that's cooler than Crash Davis. Speaking of minor league baseball, Josh Carey is coming up next, right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Wow Internet is good internet, and good internet is fast, reliable, and can even come with a $0 price tag. That's right. Under the Affordable Connectivity Program, you can get speeds of up to 1 gig at a reduced cost, or get ACP Internet 100 for free with no data caps and equipment rental fees included. If you don't qualify for ACP, no sweat. We've got plans starting as low as $24.99 per month. Check your eligibility today at wowway.com/ACP. Wow, good internet. Taxes and fees may apply. One benefit per household. See wowway.com/ACP for details.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
Did you know that your car, truck, or SUV may be worth over 30 or 40% more than it was last year? It's true. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and we'd love your trade-in for a personalized custom factory order on a 2022 Explorer, Expedition, Ranger, or F1.
We interrupt this message to announce our $1,000 appreciation cash reward. Attention all active military, reservists, retirees, and all veterans. plus first responders, police, fire department, EMTs, and medical professionals. In appreciation for making Huntsville the great city it is, you'll receive a $1,000 exclusive reward in addition to any public offers on most all 22 Fords. So please come see us today.
Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. At Woody Anderson Ford, whether it's a new order or a pre-owned, we promise to always do the right thing. Corner of Jordan and Sparkman, hope to see you soon.
The defending world champs are answering the call. The Braves' run for a title heats up this summer, and we'll bring it to you live.
Fly ball to deep center field. That is gone! Matt Olson with a bomb to center field.
Tonight, don't miss a minute of Atlanta Braves baseball live from Truist Park as Dansby Swanson and the Braves take on the San Francisco Giants. Braves Radio goes on the air at 6:05 Eastern, 5:05 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 90s. Some of us could very likely see the lower triple digits, dropping into the mid-upper 70s as we head into the overnight. An isolated shower is going to be possible on Thursday, though it does look like the vast majority of us are going to end up staying dry. Partly sunny sky, temperatures hanging out in the mid-90s, dropping into the upper 60s, lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Friday. Temperatures once again climbing into the mid-90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All the press conferences.
It's our mental energy. I would say spend less time complaining about, when I was going to get an opportunity. Just spend more time training and working towards.
Plus, all of the rat poison is served up right here.
It's yummy.
On 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Talking baseball. Klazuski, Campanella talking baseball. The man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber and the Nuke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke.
This segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. Still very competitive out there in the home buying market, and North Alabama Mortgage can help you get your offer accepted. But just go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. But when you're pre-approved with North Alabama Mortgage, your offer moves to the top of the stack. And that's basically the way that works. They serve all of Alabama, Florida, and Tennessee. And don't forget, rates have been going up. Grab them before they go any higher so that you can refi your own property, get some of that money out of your property with a conventional VA, FHA, or USDA loan. And, with that cash out money, you could do home renovations and college expenses or weddings or whatever major expenses you've got. It's a good time to do it. You can learn more with Brian Hamaker and his team. They do a tremendous job, and they're very involved in the community, very, very involved in the entire community. All right, joining us now from Birmingham, where the Trash Pandas have gotten started on a 6-game series down there, is the voice of the Trash Pandas, the one and only Josh Carey, and he's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Josh, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, Tom. Well, we're doing great, man. We're champions, so everything's moving in the right direction. Good start to the series yesterday, and hoping to motor right along through the first half of the season.
So when does the first half actually end?
Sunday.
So this is the last
we'll
series.
It up and this is the last series. To be very candid, these games are utterly meaningless, and so they're glorified exhibitions. Guys are just trying to pad their stats, and then we'll motor right into the second half at Tennessee before we return home on July 4th against Chattanooga.
Well, don't get me started on utterly meaningless, because it feels like the whole second half would be utterly meaningless. In terms of nothing can change right now. But do you get, like, if you had the better, how do they determine who gets the 2 games in the 2 out of 3 in the playoff? Will it be based on whichever team has the best overall record? Is there something to play for there, maybe?
No, and that's the thing. I mean, there are a lot of things that I wish they would change up about the playoffs, and this is one of them. That's already been predetermined. Rocket City will host. Okay. Yeah, they're going to host games 2 and, if necessary, 3. It's a best of 3. Game 1 will be at whoever the opponent is. And that's something I wish they would change up. I wish they would say, look, whoever finishes with the best overall record will get games 2 and 3 at home. Whoever finishes with the second best record gets game 1 at home, and go from there, just so you have something to play for. But I guess right now, really, what you play for if you're a Trash Panda is better numbers so you can move up.
Sure.
I mean, that's really what you're trying to do at this point. And look, the guys really impressed me last night. I was kind of wondering how they would react against an inferior opponent, in games that right now have no bearing on the standings. And they looked great last night. So look for them to continue doing what they're supposed to do, and hopefully they'll keep winning. The guys, they're not going to be together forever, but let's enjoy them while they last.
Yeah, won 9 out of the last 10 games as well. Well, here would be I don't know why they have to determine now who's home. It's not like you're worried about travel or TV or anything like that. I mean, you could decide that right down to the last minute who's going to get the 3 games in a 3-game series. Although, I got to be honest with you, a case could be made that I'd rather have, if it was a 3-game series, I mean, it's barely a series. If it's a 3-game series, I'd almost want game 1. I'd almost rather have game 1 and then take 2 shots on the road to win the series. I don't know. Man, you drop that first game, and now that's a ton of pressure. Yeah, you got 2 at home, but you got to win them both. You know what I mean? That's kind of pressure packed. But one of the things they could have done, this would have been easy. If you win both halves, you get all 3 games at home. You know what I mean? That's your carrot. You win the first half, you win the second half. You get to host all 3 playoff games if necessary, and whoever had the next best record in your division could come see you.
Or, you know what, better yet, Tom, why don't we just let if one team finishes with a better record than the other team, just have all 3 games at one side. I mean, they keep talking about trying to cut down on travel for the guys. Yeah. I mean, look, we're trying to get these – in reality, they want to get the playoffs over with so they can get guys back home and get their off-season started. And so if we're going to do that, let's just all play in one site and get it over with and then move on to the next series, get that done with. In reality, I mean, these playoffs should be over within 1 week. But the way they've got it set up now is you're going to have an off day on Monday, play 1 game, have another off day, play games 2, and if necessary, 3, another off day. Then you're going to play, 1 game, off day, 2 and 3. There's so many off days. It's aggravating, and I know they're trying to get all the travel in. But, the thing about minor league baseball and minor league sports in general is that you don't tend to draw well for the postseason because school's in session, games are played during the week, football's underway. It's not like the World Series, and hopefully Rocket City fans will be able to turn the tables on that. But the point I'm making is it's a different animal, and so you don't have to treat it like the World Series. You can be a little different here. I'd like to see them try to do 1 series, cram it all into 1 week, get it done with, and let the guys go home and get ready for their off season.
Look, you're talking about traveling to, for example, right now, you'd be traveling to Knoxville. I mean, come on. I mean, would you need travel day to get to Knoxville? You in Knoxville, you'll play 1 game in the morning here and play another game at night in Knoxville. I mean, it's I don't think you need a travel day for that. And then even if it's even if you get to the championship series. Now, I think Trash Panda fan comes out for the Southern League Championship Series. I really do. I think Trash Panda fan would come out in a big way for that. Here's the key, though, Josh. You nailed it. Yes, you got school, but school is out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And you nailed it, though, when you talked about the football weekend. You need to play this series, both of them, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know what I mean? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, boom. And then next week, the championship series. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, boom. Don't screw it Friday night. Don't screw it Saturday or Sunday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And Trash Panda fan is going to be in Toyota Field for the playoffs. That's what I think.
Oh, yeah, and our fans will be great. I mean, that's not the problem. But here's the deal. Since you're playing in 2 cities, if you go to – and let's just say Birmingham wins it.
Yeah.
You go to Birmingham on a Tuesday night, you might get a couple hundred fans. If you go to Biloxi, they struggle mightily. I mean, I don't know what Pensacola would be. I mean, there's just so much up in the air, and it's so hard to market, especially the teams that win the second half, because they don't have a chance to market those games. We're going to at least have a couple of months preparation to get the word out to our fans that, hey, we're going to have more games coming up in September. Come down to Toyota Field. Your team is going to be vying for a championship. We're going to have 2.5 months to get ready for that. These teams that win the second half title in early September, they're not going to have that same luxury. And if Rocket City does win the second half, then the teams that do get that second seed in the North, they're going to be like, wait, we won? We're going to the playoffs, but we didn't win a division title. Now you got to explain that mess.
Right.
This is why I wish we would do away with the split season, have one division winner, a second division winner, full season, head-on-head, best of 5, and then call it a season like they did last year. I really liked how they did it last season better.
Biloxi struggles with attendance. This is surprising to me because they only got the team a few years ago. It's a beautiful stadium. It's right by the water down there and everything else. I mean, why in the hell is Biloxi, they couldn't get it done in Huntsville. Why is Biloxi struggling with attendance?
Well, one, everyone goes down there to gamble. It's all tourists. I mean, they go down there to gamble. The beaches are not really tourist beaches. It's not like people go down there to swim and get a tan. That's just all, people just drive past those. They're not really for the public. And number 3, you know this, Mississippi is poor as dirt. I mean, it's not just Biloxi that struggles. The Braves struggle too over in Jackson. So that's been really rough. I mean, you look at attendance, they are dead last. And it's so sad because those folks work their tails off. I was there last year. Granted, it was the pandemic, but you had maybe a couple of hundred fans there for a ball game on a Friday night. It's really a tough place to be, and your heart goes out to them because you're right. The stadium's fine. It's just that the people aren't into it. The people who are down there go there to gamble, and that's what they do. You know what, Tom? They are a perfect example as to why I would never put a baseball team in Las Vegas. Everyone talks about Vegas. It's great. It's growing. They're doing all this great stuff. Vegas is great for football. I would never, ever, ever in a million years put a baseball team there because all the locals, they don't want to go. They're not going to go to a baseball game. They're going to go downtown to gamble. And if they want to go to a Raider game, they'll go to a Raider game. But
yeah, because that's a once-a-week event, Yeah, that's a once-a-week event, eight events and stuff. But you're right. If you got 80 games there. Now, let me tell you where they would go. Nashville. They will go to Nashville, and I'll tell you what. I am, of course, I'm a Yankees fan. I cannot stand watching games from Tampa Bay, from that mausoleum down there. There's no atmosphere whatsoever. 15,000 people. They got more people in an arena for a hockey game for the Stanley Cup Finals than go to the baseball game to see their very competitive baseball team playing the New York by God Yankees. In a mall, in that mausoleum that they call a baseball stadium, which is an absolute joke. Guy fouled out hitting a ball off the rafters last night. It was a key at bat, and the ball hits up and rings around in the rafters. And the third baseman for Toronto he's moving around trying to figure out where the ball's going to come out of the rafter, and he catches it, and it's an out. I mean, it's a clown show in that place. And I'm telling you, I went back and looked at the last 10 years of the Tampa Bay Rays. That is a very competitive baseball program. They won 100 games last year, and nobody cares. They got to pick that show up and bring it to Nashville. I'm telling you, swap them to the National League East, so they got that rivalry with the Braves, and of course the Cubs and the Cardinals are all teams that they're going to draw well there. Move Miami to the American League East, where they'll draw much better against the Red Sox and Yankees, and get that done, because I think that baseball would work in a 35 to 38,000 seat stadium in Nashville. They got to get that team the hell out of Tampa.
Listen, I hear you, and I agree with you 100%. I think here's what's frustrating for me. I was in the Rays organization when I was up in Hudson Valley. That was their short season affiliate, and they've done everything they can. I mean, a great farm system, competitive team. The one thing that saved the Buccaneers and the Lightning is the fact they won championships. They won Stanley Cups. They've won Super Bowls.
Right.
The Rays just haven't gotten over the top. And I think if they won a World Series, the whole atmosphere there would change. But, of course, that's easier said than done. Here's what's interesting about the Nashville idea. I don't know what Rob Manfred is trying to do in terms of, does he want to keep the teams where they are first and then expand, or does he want to put a team in Nashville via expansion? I think ideally what he'd like to do is keep the Rays in Tampa, keep the A's out in Oakland, and then expand. If that happens, then it's going to take a red-hot minute before we see baseball in Nashville or Charlotte or Montreal or Portland or wherever. But if they can't get anything done, then, yeah, he's going to have to move some teams around, and then you're going to be able to see a team in Nashville or Charlotte come a lot sooner. I just don't know which is going to come first, the chicken or the egg. And it's still going to be a few years, but you're right. I think it'll be interesting, and I think Nashville would support baseball very well up there.
No, I think they do great with it, and yeah, whether it's and I think baseball does need to get to 32. So I think we will get 2-team expansion at some particular point in time. But yeah, they got the problem in Oakland, and they've got the pride, and the Oakland thing's gonna be a rotten shame. And I know that this has been like the most traveled franchise. I mean, people don't know that, or youngins out there don't know that this was the Philadelphia A's, and then the Kansas City A's, and then the Oakland A's. But their history in Oakland has been so great. They've been so competitive there. They won those 3 straight World Series out there in the 70s, won again later on. All of the artist renderings of the stadium that they would build there are absolutely beautiful. And let me tell you something. If Oakland loses, they already lost the Warriors. They lost, of course, the Raiders. If they lose the A's, you might as well blow that town up, because that town it's a cesspool as it is. And now it'll have nothing. Everything is over in San Francisco, and they will have nothing in Oakland.
And the sad part is it's actually a really good sports town. I mean, Tom, from the 1970s, Oakland was a place to be.
Great
I mean, between
fans.
the Raiders and the A's, I mean, they were competitive, and people were really into it. I mean, that was a great city to be in. But, yeah, you lose the A's, you have nothing there. And you have nothing there, you're basically just San Francisco light. And that's not necessarily a good thing either. And like you said, between the taxes and the cost of living and the homelessness problem, and now you have nothing to draw people there from a sports standpoint. Yeah, Oakland's becoming a rough spot. They need the A's desperately, and I can't believe they're not bending over backwards to find a way to keep them there. Hopefully that stadium thing will come through. But like you said, the money is so tight up there, I just don't know if they'll be able to find the money to get it done.
All right, before I let you go, one of our youngins at the radio station, his nickname is Crash. His sisters used to call him Crash because he played some Crash Vanderboot or Bandiboot or some stupid sounding game, video game when he was a kid. So they called him Crash. Now, when he said Crash, when I say Crash to you, what's the first thing you think of? When I say the name
Crash Davis.
Crash Davis, right?
Yeah.
Crash, I mean, and is Crash Davis not the coolest minor leaguer to ever play minor league baseball in the history of minor league baseball? I mean, can we think of anybody in the movies? I think Crash Davis was cooler than Roy Hobbs. I'll be honest with you. I think Crash Davis was cooler than Roy Hobbs. I think Crash Davis is about the coolest dude that ever played baseball in a movie. What do you think?
Although I will say that not too far behind is golly, what's his name? Charlie Sheen from Major League.
Yeah,
what's his name?
Crash Davis though, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he was the talk of Cleveland.
Yeah,
not bad.
He was. We should know his name. Why don't we know his name in the movie? He was
Rick Vaughn. Come on now.
Rick
Vaughn. Yeah.
Wild Thing.
The Wild Thing. That's what I was thinking. Wild Thing or Crash Davis. I think I would go. I'm going to put up a poll question. Wild Thing, Crash Davis, or Roy Hobbs? Who is the coolest guy ever? Not Tom Selleck in Japan. No, not Mr. 3000.
No Bobby Rayburn from The Fan?
No, not Bobby Rayburn from The Fan.
Sit down.
No.
I got the Vaughn one. Come on now.
Rick Vaughn.
Vaughn, you're right on that one, but no, not.
Yeah.
Nah,
maybe Vaughn's in the running. Vaughn's in the running for that.
What was Tom Hanks? What was Tom Hanks's character in A League of Their Own? I thought he was absolutely hilarious in that movie.
No, not A League of Their Own. That's chick baseball. That ain't gonna work. That's not cool. I mean, we're talking.
You're talking about
Crash Davis here. We're talking about a lot of testosterone. Okay, we're talking about the Crash Davis's his speech to Baseball Annie when he's in the doorway there is like one of the greatest scenes in the history of movies ever. Any kind of movie. I mean, it was one of the greatest.
Do you even know what we're talking about, Chad?
He doesn't know.
Oh, yeah, no, I know what
speech.
you're talking about. Are you kidding me?
I'm talking about the speech.
Yeah.
All right.
Act like I don't know. I've seen baseball movies. Thank you very much. Baseball is my number one thing.
All right. I appreciate you as oh God, now I go to put Crash in my thing and it comes up Crash Bandicoot. It's finishing it instead of Crash Davis. Crash Bandicookie. All right. I appreciate you as always, Josh. Good stuff by you. Have a good week down in the Birmingham.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. We get a break. Come back and wrap up hour number one next, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Aw, you didn't have to go so all out for my birthday.
Yes, we did. Because birthdays are about showing your friends how much you care for them and how grateful you are for their...
This is Jamie from Progressive. No, this is a great time. Progressive protects you 24/7. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry that happened. Jamie. Can you hold on one second? I gotta take this call, but remember, birthdays are about togetherness.
Contact us 24/7 on the phone, online, or on the mobile app. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms.
Flow Trampoline Park is Huntsville's newest destination for family fun. There's an inflatable park for the little ones, air track basketball courts for the sports people, and a variety of other aerial sports attractions. Plus, plenty of couches and TVs for the spectators. Book your next party or outing at Flow Trampoline Park. Refuel at our caf, or tap into your inner child with an arcade and 3 console gaming rooms. Flow is at South Parkway and Drake, behind the Cracker Barrel. Learn more at flowhuntsville.com. That's flowhuntsville.com. Get your jump on at Flow Trampoline Park.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that, chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at baddaddysburgerbar.com.
When we say local, we mean local, not Birmingham.
Loser.
We are the only sports talk station in Huntsville. It's all right here. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You've got a magical glow.
Welcome back to Thom Abraham Show.
Well, I ain't trying to be no jerk.
All right, coming up at the top of the hour, Jordan Bianchi is going to join us from The Athletic. NASCAR has made its way to Nashville for the second year. I'm a little concerned. I believe that tickets still remain for the Cup races. It's only 38,000 seats. And, you know, they for 10 years, you know, bellyached about getting it back and, getting a cup race. And there hasn't been a cup race there forever. Even when they were running at the Nashville Super Speedway before, it was just the Xfinity race, and then they ran the IRL. So to get the cup race, and now they're not sold out yet, that's a little surprising to me. I mean, maybe it'll be sold out, I guess. I mean, I'm sure it'll have a full crowd. But it is a little bit surprising. We're also getting close to having the playoff field set in NASCAR, so we'll get some information from him on that and how that thing is going to set up. Also in the second hour of the show, ESPN.com has come up with this new way to evaluate college football programs for the next 3 years. I want to share with you what they say, what that's all about as well, and we'll get into that, and you can agree or disagree on it. I was a little bit surprised, I got to tell you. I was a little bit surprised that Auburn is not in their top 25. Their top 25 future power rankings. All right, this is the combined future power rankings for 2022, 23, and 24. I went over the list like 3 or 4 times looking for. I was like, did I miss them? Did I miss them? And they're not in the top 25 over the next 3 years. Very interesting. So we'll get into that as well. And your phone calls. Phone lines are open. Crash Davis, Roy Hobbs, or Wild Thing, Rick Vaughn. Coolest baseball person ever. Movie baseball person ever. All right, hour number 2 is next. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
The best place to get 50s diner-style homemade delectables is Bubby's Diner. Located at 8412 Whitesburg Drive Southeast, try their all-new expanded breakfast menu with homemade waffles, omelets, and shrimp and grits. With 3 generations of experience, Chris Bubby Belcher has the best burgers in town. Don't forget to leave without a homemade pie or a hand-spun milkshake. Give Bubby's a call today at 256-513-8080. Bubby's Diner, home of the donut burger.
Have you
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Is Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Ravens linebacker Jalen Ferguson has died at the age of 26 in Baltimore. Baltimore police say there were no signs of trauma found or foul play suspected at this time. The medical examiner's office will determine a cause of death. According to findings released today by the U.S. House Oversight Committee, Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder conducted a shadow investigation of allegations he'd fostered a toxic work culture within his organization and worked closely with the NFL to monitor and ultimately bury the findings from an official internal investigation. Snyder has repeatedly declined to appear at today's hearing, telling the committee he'd be out of the country on business. Lightning winger Nikita Kucherov expected to play in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final tonight versus the Avalanche. Center Braden Point doubtful for Tampa. 8 Eastern, ABC and ESPN+. Lightning down 2-1.
So who is Wes Neighbors?
He's going to put an ass whooping meter on next year.
Does Wes know?
1 or 2 or 3 cans of whoop ass.
We can all figure it out. Weekday afternoons, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
The series even between the Braves and the Giants. Game 3 tonight with Charlie Morton getting the start for Atlanta. The Braves -125 on the money line. San Francisco at +105. 8.5 the set total. Rory McIlroy and Scott Scheffler co-favorites to win this week's Travelers Championship, each at +1,000. Justin Thomas at +1,200. Patrick Cantlay +1,400 and Sam Burns at +1,800. The Lightning will try to even the Stanley Cup Finals with the Avalanche tonight. Colorado leads the series 2-1 after a 6-2 Tampa Bay win in Game 3 Monday. Both teams at -110 on the money line in Game 4. The over-under at 6. The Avalanche's streak of 7 straight postseason wins came to an end with that Game 3 loss. I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The defending world champs are answering the call. The Braves' run for a title heats up this summer, and we'll bring it to you live.
Fly ball to deep center field. That is gone! Matt Olson with a bomb to center field.
Tonight, don't miss a minute of Atlanta Braves baseball live from Truist Park as Dansby Swanson and the Braves take on the San Francisco Giants. Braves Radio goes on the air at 6:05 Eastern, 5:05 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 90s. Some of us could very likely see the lower triple digits, dropping into the mid-upper 70s as we head into the overnight. An isolated shower is going to be possible on Thursday, though it does look like the vast majority of us are going to end up staying dry. Partly sunny sky, temperatures hanging out in the mid-90s, dropping into the upper 60s, lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Friday. Temperatures once again climbing into the mid-90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Download our app today. Just search 97.7 ESPN.
It's water and dust resistant.
That's 977 ESPN. We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
And that's it.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, where you get one of the cool Mustangs that race so well on the track on Sundays. But Woody Anderson Ford, for all your service needs. Their service department is second to none. Their garage looks like a NASCAR garage. I mean, if you go in the garage at Woody Anderson Ford, the service garage, I've been there. It looks like a NASCAR garage. It's amazing how impeccable it is in there and how clean it is in there and how the mechanics are also good and they're tight, organized. Their gear is all organized. I mean, it's really something, and you know that they're going to take care of your vehicles when you go down there. Now, look, you're going to want an F-150 when you go there, or you're going to want one of those beautiful Mustangs. Or you might be lucky like us and find one of those ragtop Mustangs like my wife drives or my son drives or my other son drives. We've got 3 of those ragtop Mustangs floating around here at the property. But in any event, and one beefy F-150, all right? I'm like the pace car. And then my wife and 2 of my sons with their Mustangs, they follow me around town. I'm the pace truck in that deal. By the way, speaking of the trucks, Jordan Bianchi joining us now from The Athletic on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. I have got a family 4-pack of tickets for the truck race, all right? A family 4-pack of tickets for the truck race for all you got to do is call in while I'm talking to Jordan Bianchi when I'm talking about the races in Nashville coming up this weekend. If you want those tickets, all you got to do is hit us up right now, 256-576-4977. It's 256-576-4977. Call in, say, hey, I want those truck tickets, and we will get them to you electronically. Jordan Bianchi joins us now. Jordan, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. I will be at Nashville this weekend, so if you're at the race, come out and say hi.
Let me ask you a question. Did you go to Sonoma, as I always call it, or as I call it, Simona?
I did not. That was a weekend I had off, so I got to enjoy the race from home.
My son-in-law and my daughter performed before the race there in Sonoma.
Really?
Yeah, they were. In fact, they were in the hype video that NASCAR put out for the deal, and he is a guitar player that does. He's an outstanding electric guitar player that does a lot of different bits while he's playing the electric guitar. And this one they were riding like one wheels, one of those one wheel type things that look like a skateboard, sure, but they got a big one wheel on it. And she has talent too, but her talent is confined to her beautiful looks. So she was behind him, like waving checkered flags, and he was playing the guitar doing that. They also performed, or he performed before the race at Las Vegas. They hung him from a cable from a crane or something, and he was like on a trapeze hanging above the racetrack and performing on the guitar beforehand. So he's got a nice little gig going on out west. They live in San Diego, And they've been hiring them to perform before a lot of these races. They've been having a big time. And that's kind of the NASCAR thing, isn't it? I mean, it's the whole show, and it's going to be one hell of a show in the Music City this weekend.
It is, and you make a good point. And Sonoma was a great race, and the expectation is Nashville. Last year's race was really good, and this year with the new car and what we've seen out of it on these type of tracks, Sunday should be a terrific race. My expectations are actually really quite high for it.
I'm surprised by that because, that was the one thing, and you and I have talked about this, the one thing everybody was concerned about when they came back to Nashville was, it's a cool place, but the race is going to suck. You got to tear that track up, and they got to build a higher banked asphalt track in there. And yet it was pretty racy last year. So it'll be very interesting. I had a track president on earlier this week, and I tried to kind of gig him towards talking about maybe changes at the track and so on. And he was like, you know what, we were pretty racy last year. And so you anticipate that this could be a pretty good race on a mile and a third track.
Yeah, I mean, my expectations were kind of what yours were going into last year. It's like, hey, Nashville's a great city. I'm glad NASCAR's there. There's a lot of the extracurricular stuff. It makes this a weekend, but the actual racing itself, I had some questions, but it actually went really well on the racetrack. And then what we've seen from this car this year is that it does really well on these intermediate-sized tracks, especially tracks with banking like Nashville has. And the racing at Las Vegas, at Fontana, has been competitive. It's been really good and much, much better than what we typically see. So even go back to Charlotte, that's another track that was raced that was really good. So I'm curious to see if all this carries over to Nashville. The hope is that it will, and I think what we saw last year could be a precursor to what we see Sunday, and I think it could be even better.
Now, there is one thing that is a slight concern of mine. Now, they expand the track to 38,000 for Sunday. The main grandstand's only about 25,000. And, you know, we're used to the glory days of there being, 200,000 people at Talladega and all this stuff. But they expand it to 38,000 with the temporary seating that they bring in there. There's possibility or plan down the road to expand to permanent seating. But at last check, and it's getting close, admittedly getting close, but at last check, there's still tickets available for Sunday's race. That's a little hair of a concern for me because this is the second year. Nashville has wanted the Cup Series back for years and years, and I'm wondering why 3 days before the race, there's still tickets available for Sunday.
Yeah, fair question, and I don't have any insight that. It's unfortunate because we would like to think that because of it's in Nashville, great city, lots to do, tourist destination, this would be a hot ticket. The only thing I can say to that is the track is 40 minutes or so outside of the city. Right. Not the easiest to get to necessarily, and there's kind of this stigma, if you will, about intermediate racetracks that we talked about, how they're not always most exciting. The other thing, too, is you have to look at the temperatures. I mean, the weather this weekend, it is going to be extremely hot. And I say this as a sports fan. I love sports. I'm obsessed with sports. I like watching sports from my couch, though, than going to games because it's a lot more convenient. I don't have to deal with everything, especially with the heat, and it's going to be as hot as it is. I can understand why there may be some trepidation and why people maybe aren't going out. That's the only reason I could surmise.
The TV ratings have been going up. They were excellent for Fox. They were increased for Fox and so on. And I'll say this, and I've said it over and over again, I thought the two sports that benefited the most from the HD TV craze that hit 10, 15 years ago were hockey and NASCAR. Because of hockey, because it was always so hard to see the puck and so on. Now you can see the snow that sprays against the ice, against the glass. It's so crystal clear. And for NASCAR, I mean, you literally could see the marbles coming off of the tires, the rubber coming off the tires in the corners. It's so outstanding to watch it. I agree with you. I watch it on the 65 in the, in the family room, and the kitchen's right there, the bathroom's over there, the refrigerator's over there, and when the race is over, I climb into bed, I go to sleep. So it's like it's a totally different deal. And I agree with it. It is something, and that's why these tracks have shrunk their grandstands. There's no doubt about it. I don't think it's necessarily an indication of interest being down. I think it's an indication of the way we consume it.
I agree. And you were seeing sports adapt to that too, and they're realizing that they have to offer consumers more than just action in front of them on the field or on the track or wherever. They have to do a lot of the extracurricular stuff, enticing people to come out. And now, this day and age, like you said, it is so much more convenient to sit home and watch sports. I am obsessed with college football. I will tell you that there's probably very few people in this world who love college football as much as I do. I don't want to go to a game, though, because I don't want to go there and sit for 3.5 hours, and I don't want to have to get there an hour before and then stay an hour after getting out of there. I can just keep watching college football all day from the comfort of my couch and not miss anything. So it's a challenge, and we're seeing this. How do you adapt to this? How do leagues adapt to this? And that's part of why the streaming wars and why sports television properties are so hot right now, because people are gobbling this up on television much more than they are going to games. And that's why sports leagues, and NASCAR included in this, are so focused on, okay, what can we do for that consumer at home? It's important to get people to come out to our games or races, but we've got to make sure that we're appealing more to the people at home, because that's really where the bread is buttered monetarily wise.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. And I'm 1,000% with you on the college football. I got to be honest with you. I coached for 11 years, right? So I was just totally involved in my own team, and the only thing I ever saw was our opponents on film and who they were playing, and occasionally maybe a Saturday night game if we hadn't played on Saturday night. Right from coaching, I went right into broadcasting, and I was doing a TV game every Saturday for 4 years after that, and then into radio, and all the way up until I guess 3 years ago, all the way up to 3 years ago or so, I was in a press box every Saturday. And so you would see, there'd be some games on, here and there, and you'd see some of that, and maybe you'd catch something before, but pretty much in a press box every Saturday. 3 years ago or so, when I stopped doing that, I sat there on a Saturday in my chair, and I watched games from 11 in the morning till 11 at night. I'm like, oh, my God. I mean, this is amazing. And you can't get me out of the chair with a stick of dynamite. Every once in a while I'll get like – some national radio or something like that. Well, they'll say, hey, can you go cover this game, or can you go do that? And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm sick that day. I'm not sure. I don't think I'm going to be available. So I know I didn't realize what this was, every Saturday. And it's amazing. And how, you can't replace the smell of the burning rubber, the smell of the fuel.
Agreed.
I love that. I mean, I absolutely love
100%.
that. Once you're there, you know what I mean? I don't miss 3 hours getting out of Daytona, after a Firecracker 400 at night. I don't miss some of that stuff. But once you are there and you're in your seat and the racing starts, there is nothing like being there once you're there. But it's all that worked around being there is the thing.
Yeah, 100%. And I always tell people, 100% agree with everything you said. And I always tell people, if you're not a NASCAR fan, you have to go once, because once you go there, the sights, the sounds, the smells, everything associated with it, you realize, holy cow, this is cool. Seeing the cars go by you and how fast they are. I mean, television is great, but it can't replicate the speed. And so I think if you're not a fan, you need to go and check it out, because I do think you'll become a fan. And I'm not saying you should never go to a race, but I think the value of watching at home is you can't compare.
A lot of things have changed from tradition too with NASCAR. I mean, next weekend or the following weekend, July the 3rd. I mean, that should be Firecracker weekend. I mean, at Daytona, that's summer race at Daytona. You have a lot of issues with weather there. I get all of that, but I'm having a hard time still adjusting to the fact that they'll be in Wisconsin at Road America on Sunday, July 3rd. I'm like, no. Get your ass to Daytona. I mean, that's where you need to be. And, oh, by the way, it should be the first race of the playoffs, too, so they can end it at Darlington, on Labor Day weekend. Yeah. But it's that part of it. And there's more changes coming, right? They're talking about more changes in next year's schedule, including possibly a road race in the streets somewhere. Is that right?
Yeah. Downtown Chicago. It's been rumored, it's been openly discussed for a few years now, and it is something that is on the horizon. NASCAR is very eager to make this happen, and I just want to make sure to clarify, it's not a done deal by any means. It's something they're working towards. They hope to get it done, but how these things go. Sometimes they go by the wayside, and things go sideways, and it doesn't work out. But the hope is that they're going to be in downtown Chicago racing next year. The thought is it'll probably be 4th of July weekend. I agree with you about the Daytona part. To some degree, I'm a traditionalist, and having those marquee signature races on holidays, it means something. Coca-Cola 600, Memorial Day weekend, Southern 500, Labor Day. But I do like Daytona as a regular season finale, though. I get that, and having that race at the end of the regular season, it's just chaotic, and there's an intensity about it that's just unreplicable. But to me, to your point, though, I would like NASCAR to find a date for this 4th of July if it's not going to be Daytona, and make a track own the date, because it's too valuable of a property. I thought Road America did a good job last year. You know, it's beer, it's brats, it's outdoors. It's got a 4th of July feel to it, if you will. Mm-hmm. But if it's going to be dropped from the schedule, I guess they're going to do that in Chicago 4th of July weekend possibly. And to me, it's like, okay, but is that a tradition that's going to take hold? Probably not. And you've got to find a racetrack that's going to be able to own that date so you can rebuild that tradition to something.
Look, I'm resisting making cracks about 4th of July weekend racing in the streets of Chicago, okay? I'm resisting making a crack about drive-bys and things that could happen in the streets of Chicago when you're – it's every weekend in the streets of Chicago there's races going on down there. But we'll see what kind of a track, and it's got to be racy. You know what I mean? You got to have – that's the one thing. We talked about Monaco the last time, and the fact that, yeah, this is great, it's Monaco, but you can't pass for anything. You couldn't pass going 10 miles an hour there. It's so tight. The track is so tight. It was racy at Sonoma. Daniel Suarez gets the win. And if 16 races this season, 12 different guys have won a race. Is that about right?
Correct. Did
we lose him?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the talk is can is there going to be more winners than playoff spots available? It seems like we have this discussion every year, and I'm firmly in the camp of I'll believe it when I see it, and I think you're going to start seeing a lot more repeat winners kind of happen. And I know we've had a string of first-time winners this year, 4, but you're going to see the Kyle Busches, the Kyle Larsons, the Denny Hamlins continue to win races, I think, and you're probably going to get to around 14 or so. Different winners, but getting above 16 is really a challenge. Not saying it can't happen, because you look at the way the schedule lays out, there are these tracks that offer elements of surprise. Daytona's one of them. Atlanta's another one. You got some road courses in there as well. So it's just, again, believe it when I see it, and I think that eventually there's going to be 1 or 2 teams that just start hitting on something. We see it every year, and they start to becoming dominators and rolling out these wins in a pretty consistent stretch.
Yeah. What happens if that does happen? What if there was 17 winners? What do they do? Just straight points? Or does those 16 guys, is it guaranteed that you're in if you got to win, or no?
No, it's not guaranteed, and that so you kind of got to preface it a little bit. Basically, if there were 17 winners, if you will, the driver who is lowest out of points out of those 17 guys would be out of the playoffs.
Wow, which right now that would be, it looks like probably Austin Cindric he only has 362 points, but he has that win, so he's in there. There are guys behind him that have much more points. I think look, Blaney will win a race. Truex will win a race. I think Harvick can still win a race. It could be close. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's any other winners. And then, of course, like you said, Daytona, Ricky Stenhouse or somebody, Daytona could,
sure.
Michael McDowell, somebody that Austin Dillon, those guys can all win at a place like that is very random. It could be close. It'd be fascinating.
Listen, I can give you a pathway to where it could happen. You mentioned the guys. I mean, Truex, Blaney, Harvick. I mean, I'd throw Austin Dillon in that mix. Tyler Reddick. I mean, there are enough guys you look at and say, hey, they could win a race conceivably. They could win, and like you said, Daytona. Anything can happen at Daytona. I don't know. It just seems like this is a conversation we have all of the time, and it always tends to work itself out. So we'll see.
Yeah, and the thing is that Blaney with 511 points. I mean, if this was the old days straight point system, he's like third. You know what I mean? It would be tough to see him actually end up getting squeezed out. I do think that he will somehow get a race win here somewhere. And look, Joey Logano with the 2 wins, that he and Ross Chastain and William Byron have 2 wins each. That goes to just how good that guy is, I believe, because I think that the Fords have been struggling. There's no doubt about it that they're not 100% up to speed yet, and the team has struggled. He's had a lot of bad finishes as well. But the fact that Joey Logano has squeezed out a couple of wins when the rest of the Fords are struggling so much goes to just how good he is. I think that's a Joey thing.
I agree. I think he's really underrated as a driver, and I think Paul Wolf, his crew chief, is very underrated as well. And that is a team where they have been. You look at their season, you're like, oh man, they haven't really had that sustained consistency. You're like every week they're in the mix, but then like, hey, wait a second, they've got 2 wins, and they're really in the points championship. They have an opportunity to win the regular season points crown. It's a much better season when you kind of start diving into a little bit, and they're one of those teams you're kind of keeping an eye on this summer, saying, man, are they starting to get going here? They just won a Gateway a couple weeks ago. Is this a thing where you could kind of see them start to roll off some wins? They're a dangerous team, and I will say this: when they get in the playoffs, they are very good. There are very few mentally tough drivers like Logano, and that helps him a lot in these playoffs. And he is somebody that is a very tough out.
Ross Chastain sits atop the list right now. He seems to be in it every week. He's got 10 top 10s. He always seems to be running near the front. For Trackhouse Racing, besides, I mean, will this guy be alive when they get to the end? Do you see him possibly still being in that Final Four? If you had to pick right now in the middle of the summer, does Ross Chastain, or actually the second day of summer, but that feels like the middle of summer here in Alabama and Tennessee, is this guy alive at the very end?
I don't, and it's not a knock on Chastain Trackhouse, which have had just an extraordinary year, and Chastain has been really one of the stories of the season with 2 wins this year, and everything that Trackhouse has done is remarkable. To me, I'm kind of in the camp, and I believe this really across sports, you have to go through the process of being in the playoffs and what that entails and losing before you can kind of get there. I just don't think that this team is ready to get to that level yet. This will be Ross's first time in the playoffs. What that's going to be like, it is a different animal altogether. Trackhouse has never been in it as well. I think this is going to be a learning year for them. I think they are probably, it's safe to say they're going to probably advance out of round 1 because they're good enough. They've got the wins and everything to kind of bank that. But there's just things that happen in the playoffs that you can't replicate during the regular season. And until you get that experience, it's really hard to envision them getting all the way to the Final Four. Not saying it can't happen because we've seen it before, surprises. I just think there's other more battle-tested teams who've got that experience that they just simply don't have.
And then finally, Roush. I mean, Jack Roush. I mean, it was such a thing for so long. Now then it's Roush Fenway. Now it's Roush Fenway Keselowski, RFK Racing. And I mean, it's just Brad Keselowski and Chris Buescher, and they were not really doing much at this point. Is Jack Roush going away to Wood Brothers? I mean, is that just going to be a memory, for Roush Fenway Racing, or do they have a chance to actually be truly competitive again at some point in time? Because it's like a non-entity now.
Yeah, it's a really good question, and I have I'm struggling to kind of reserve judgment on this because it's year 1, and Brad's got a lot of ideas. And Brad I think it's fair to say, Roush Fenway Racing, the old version of it, was very out to date and needed a lot of upkeep and needed a lot of things changed behind the scenes to get it on par where it could just be capable of going to racetrack and consistently winning. They are doing that behind the scenes. They've made a lot of changes. They've made a lot of big hires, a lot of smart moves. I think you have to see where this team is at throughout the course of the year, and if they can get better by the end of the year, and they're more consistent, they have more speed. This year is almost a wash. You just kind of push it aside and say, whatever happens on the racetrack happens on the racetrack. We just, whatever. We are really building towards 2023. So it's you look at the results and you're like, man, it's not going well. But again, I think you have to look at the big picture and say, okay, what is this team like? And then next year, if they're struggling like they are now at this point next year, then it's fair to say what's going on here. And this is something that maybe even Brad can't fix, but trying to hold back a reserve judgment on that.
Well, Brad's going to be, he's 38 years old now, and you wonder how many years he'll be before he's Tony Stewart. You know what I mean? Before somebody else is in the cars, and he's that guy. My Brad Keselowski memory is simple. He had his first NASCAR win at this National Superspeedway, racing for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in an 88 car in the Xfinity or Nationwide or whatever it was called back then. And we couldn't say his name, and that's what I remember about it. It was like, who won? And it's like Keselowski, and we had a hard time saying his name. But I'll never forget that when he got his first ever win with NASCAR in the in the Xfinity Series.
And my thing was always trying to remember how to spell his name. And it was like once he started kind of winning consistently, and you realize, well, this guy's here to stay. I was like, I really got to figure out how to spell his name. And now it's like second nature. Yeah, no, exactly.
Always a pleasure. Jordan Bianchi, he will be in Nashville covering the races, full weekend of racing. And, Jordan, I appreciate you. As always, great stuff. Jordan, you find him at The Athletic, covering everything you need to know about racing.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you later.
All right, thank you. All right, Crispy Crash there. Did we give away the tickets? Did we give away the truck tickets or not?
We did. We gave away 4 of them.
All right, good. We gave away 4 truck tickets. That's good. I'm glad that we did that. All right, we'll get a break in here. When we come back, phone lines go open. I got to hit a couple of other topics, and I did put the poll question up. Let me see if anybody's voting on my poll question. I did put the poll question up as to who is the coolest. I mean, that's the key to this question is cool, okay? Who is the coolest dude, fictional baseball player ever? Coolest, all right? So far, Rick Vaughn, the Wild Thing, and Roy Hobbs are splitting it at 37.5% of the vote. And Crash Davis is only getting 25%. Doesn't matter with you people. It's Crash Davis, for God's sakes. All right, we're going to break in here. We'll come back with more next, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
Rory McIlroy and Scott Scheffler, co-favorites to win this week's Travelers Championship, each at plus 1,000. Justin Thomas at plus 1,200. Patrick Cantlay plus 1,400. And Sam Burns at plus 1,800. The Lightning will try to even the Stanley Cup Finals with the Avalanche tonight. Colorado leads the series 2-1 after a 6-2 Tampa Bay win in Game 3 Monday. Both teams had minus 110 on the money line in Game 4, the over-under at 6. The Avalanche's streak of 7 straight postseason wins came to an end with that Game 3 loss. The series even between the Braves and the Giants. Game 3 tonight with Charlie Morton getting the start for Atlanta. The Braves minus 125 on the money line. San Francisco at plus 105, 8.5 the set total.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Forgiveness. Wow, what a word. What a gift. All of us have done things in our lives that we regret. All of us have done things that are disobedient. All of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Thank God for his forgiveness. Thank God that he separates our sins as far as the east is from the west and remembers them no more. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. Check us out at cpcfamily.org.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that, chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at baddaddysburgerbar.com.
Wow Internet is good internet, and good internet is fast, reliable, and can even come with a $0 price tag. That's right. Under the Affordable Connectivity Program, you can get speeds of up to 1 gig at a reduced cost, or get ACP Internet 100 for free with no data caps and equipment rental fees included. If you don't qualify for ACP, no sweat. We've got plans starting as low as $24.99 per month. Check your eligibility today at wowway.com/ACP. Wow, good internet. Wow. Taxes and fees may apply. One benefit per household. See wowway.com/ACP for details.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton.
Let's talk some football with the special assistant to the commissioner of the Southeastern Conference. He is head coach David Cutcliffe, who's kind enough to join us. How are you, Coach?
Well, I'm good, but I got one question because I got to hear a lot. Which one of y'all is getting up and dancing during all that good music to start with? Somebody's got to be up.
Yes. Actually, we were hoping you next time you come on, you video your jig. Did you ever dance?
I'm good. You just ask anybody that ever played for them. Listen, when you were raised the way I was raised, my mother taught us it didn't cost anything to dance.
Listen to The Drive, weekdays starting at 5 p.m. on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us, too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 90s. Some of us could very likely see the lower triple digits dropping into the mid-upper 70s as we head into the overnight. An isolated shower is going to be possible on Thursday, though it does look like the vast majority of us are going to end up staying dry. Partly sunny sky, temperatures hanging out in the mid-90s, dropping into the upper 60s, lower 70s as we head into the overnight. A mostly sunny sky for your Friday. Temperatures once again climbing into the mid-90s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey, North Alabama, this is Chuck Oliver. We've got college football all over the place, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
Where would this college be without football?
Listen to me weekdays at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, more of the Thom Abraham Show on your home for Crimson Tide Sports, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
Segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Orthopedic Center, otherwise known as TOC Sports, but you know they are the Orthopedic Center. I mean, everything you need to know is right there in the name. The Orthopedic Center. So for all your orthopedic needs, it's the Orthopedic Center. And they've got the specialists for every part of the body. I mean, for everything they can cover you. And remember, it's not just about surgeries. A lot of times it's just about therapy. They can get you fixed up. So whatever aches you, whatever pains you, however you got hurt, whether it was you got hurt on the job and it's a comp claim type thing, or whether or not you got hurt, named after a video game character from my youth.
Asteroid.
It would be, or a Pong. I would have to be Pong. All right?
Pong Abraham.
Pong. That. By the time I was in, I might have still been playing games when I was like 20, before I stopped, doing this stupid stuff. But when I was like 20 or 21, I had Intellivision, was what it was called, Intellivision. And there was and they had these cards. You could play tanks. You could play war. And you would have you'd slide the card into some, a controller type thing that was in your hand, and then you could direct your tank around. Look up Intellivision, and you'll see it. But it's I forget who made it, but it was, you'd play the tanks game, and that's the only game I think that we had.
Yeah.
was the Tanks game.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Actually, I mean, I'm a big video game person, so I kind of like I've either seen that before or I kind of know what you're talking about with that game.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I grew up on the Sega Genesis, so it was a little bit.
So you would be Hedgehog.
If
you were named after
Sega
a
Genesis
character
and Nintendo.
Is Sega Genesis Hedgehog?
Yes.
Isn't that what that thing is?
Yeah, it had Sonic. Yeah,
Sonic the Hedgehog?
I think I had like Madden. I think I had Madden 94 on it or 93. It was either 93 or 94. I couldn't remember which one I played.
So if you were if you were to take the nickname after a video game character and that became your nickname,
oh man,
would you be Sonic the Hedgehog? Would I have to call you Hedgehog?
Not really, because I guess because I still was like in the arcade type days, so I was like Ninja Turtles 1989. The original X-Men side-scrolling game. That was.
Which of the Ninja Turtles did you identify best with?
Oh man, Donatello. I love.
Weren't they? How do I say this politically correct? Yeah. Weren't they like Pride Month is a big thing for the Ninja Turtles, isn't it? If the Ninja Turtles were people, would they not be participating in a Pride Month parade?
No, they'd be hanging out in their sewer eating pizza.
Really?
Yeah,
I
probably
thought that
playing
was
video
the thing.
games.
I thought the Ninja Turtles were.
They'd be playing video games. They were.
They were.
They were
playing from the other side of the plate.
They were made by government ooze that went down in the sewers and they turned into Ninja Turtles because they were trained by a rat.
The Teletubbies were, I think, a little funny. Maybe they were. They
had the baby in the sky, man. That was the coolest thing.
Oh,
little baby. Okay. Always had the baby as the sun. Yeah.
So see, I would have to be if I was named after something as a kid that I watched too much of, I would have to be. We didn't have video games as little kids, so I would have to say, single digit. I would have to say my nickname would be Foghorn Leghorn.
Yes.
I say son. Yeah. I say son. Because that was my favorite cartoon. Was Foghorn Leghorn.
I mean, I grew up on that too. I mean, I probably watched Looney Tunes and just cartoons. Like they don't put it on TV anymore like they used to. Where it's like you have to nowadays you either have a streaming service or even if you have like DirecTV, you might have Boomerang or you might have like
cartoon
something
channel?
old. Yeah, you might have a cartoon channel. Like they don't just put it on like how it used to be, where it would be on TV like all the time.
On Saturday morning, they don't have cartoons on Saturday morning the networks.
It's not kind of how it used to be, to be honest with you. It's not like
it used to be till noon.
Yeah,
they'd have noon Eastern time, and then the last cartoon they had at noon was Fat Albert. It was
it's a lot of like
Fat Albert. It'd be Fat Albert from 12 to 12:30, and then that would be the end of the cartoon.
There are some cartoons, but like if you kind of watch some of the local stuff, it's more like educational shows and stuff like that. Still, it's not like how when I grew up. Like I grew up on like basically all the Spider-Man, X-Men, all those like old school, animated shorts in the morning or whatever. And then you'd get like the occasional like animal show or whatever, like Zumba or the Kraft Brothers or whatever. You'd always get something like that. Like that was always something that we'd get in the morning. Like it's like I mean, there's plenty of people. If I say Zoom, the show like Zoom, we're on Zoom right now. If you look up the show Zoom, there are so many.
There was
people,
a show called Zoom.
Yes, there are so many like people around my age or a few years younger than me that probably relate to Zoom. Yeah, it is one of the most annoying shows ever. Like but it was a show that was, that was the show that you watched. I mean, Arthur. I love Arthur, and they got rid of it last year. It's a great show. PBS was like one of the greatest shows ever, man.
I don't know. I
Arthur
hated
the Aardvark.
I hated Johnny Quest back in the day.
Oh man, you hated Johnny Quest?
I hated Johnny Quest.
Man, I love Johnny Quest. I'm showing my age, man.
Really? You liked Johnny Quest?
There was so many.
Johnny Quest.
Man, Space Ghost Coast to Coast back in the day too. That's a great animated show.
Did you hear about the umpire for the White Sox Blue Jays game, Doug Eddings, yesterday?
No.
He missed 29 calls at the plate. Strike balls and strike calls. 20. Hang on, let me hit the tweeter. Okay, I just hit the tweeter button. He missed 29 calls. He only was correct 86% of the time, including 6 blown strikeouts that he called strikes, blown strikeouts that he called strikeouts on. You got to look at it. I just tweeted it. Check it out.
29 calls.
Yeah, 29 calls. Look at the video of it. Look at how far off the plate some of these pitches are that this guy's calling strikes.
Don't they get they get that 2-inch or whatever rule off the line?
No, there shouldn't be no rule off the line. There's the black. I mean, if it's on the black,
isn't it? If it touches the line at all, it's a strike.
Yes.
Yeah.
But these are not even touching the line.
Well, yeah, of course.
I mean, look at these pitches down
I'm looking
low.
at the pictures. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are pitches that are yes, if it touches the line, that's the equivalent of being on the black.
Yeah.
That's a perfect pitch if you can hit the box. But, I mean, these pitches are so bad. Does a guy get disciplined for something like that? Does he get fired? Does he get
off.
Does he get a week off? I mean, look at that. Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh, they're going to want an 84-mile-an-hour pitch outside to this guy, number 5. And then the Palumpa there, the fat catcher, Kirk. Oh, my gosh. I mean, just awful.
Yeah, these are awful. These are absolutely awful.
So Crash Davis is making a comeback in the poll, okay?
Crash Davis, all right.
But Rick Vaughn has just pulled ahead again. Rick Vaughn with 42.9%.
Yeah.
Nobody is.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, man, nobody's cooler.
And there's nobody's cooler than Crash, but I think when you're looking at those characters and those types of movies, which one, I think, to be honest with you, Major League is probably more watchable because people probably like the comedy more than the seriousness. Even though there's
there's
plenty
a lot
of comedy,
in
there's
in
plenty of
Bull
comedy in
Durham.
Bull Durham, but I think it's when you have your 1A and 1B, those two movies right there are probably your 1A and 1B.
Well, I'm still a Field of Dreams guy when it comes to the best baseball movie ever, but I didn't put any character from that because those are real characters. These are fictional baseball characters. If you don't know it, the speech, I had to edit two things that Crash Davis believes in.
Yes,
I had to take those two things out. But the speech is one of the classic. When the baseball Annie asks him what he believes in, and because he says, I'm not trying to, he's sitting on a couch with Nuke LaRouche there, and with the baseball Annie, and she's talking to the two of them, and she's trying to decide who's going to be her boyfriend for the season. And he gets up to walk out. He goes, after 12 years in the minors, I don't try out. Okay, so he's walking away, and he says, I don't believe in something. And she says, well, what do you believe in?
Well, I believe in the soul, the small of a woman's back, the hanging curveball, high fiber, good scotch, that the novels of Susan Sontag are self-indulgent, overrated crap. I believe Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. I believe there ought to be a constitutional amendment outlawing AstroTurf and the designated hitter. I believe in the sweet spot, softcore pornography, opening your presents Christmas morning rather than Christmas Eve, and I believe in long, slow, deep, soft, wet kisses that last 3 days. Good night.
I know some of the wording that you took out for sure.
There's two other things he believes in. There's two other things that he believes in that
other than the small of a woman's back.
The small of a woman's back.
And the hanging curveball.
There were two other things.
Yeah, hey, high fiber though. High fiber.
High fiber.
For sure.
I mean, if you can, the best part about it though is the pregnant pause, the look on her face, and the pregnant pause.
Stephen, I believe in long, slow, deep, soft, wet kisses that last 3 days. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Great.
It's a young Kevin Costner, of course. Now, you think Kevin Costner, you think Yellowstone. Now John Dutton.
Oh, yeah.
He's John Dutton now.
Yeah.
His voice then was so much. His voice in the Yellowstone, gravelly, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Then it was a different kind of deal. All right. So ESPN, they've come up with this new way to analyze college football teams going forward, and it's the top 25 future power rankings, and it's based on what they do is they're taking the existing team, the staffs, the coaching staffs, and so on. And then the recruiting in the past couple of seasons, projected success into 2023, carry some weight, and you've got to somehow get it through to 2024. So 3 seasons, okay? Now, last year's team's rankings, and Adam Rittenberg is the one that puts this thing together. He says, a look at last year's team rankings kicked off with Alabama but had eventual national champion Georgia at number 5. He said, I was bullish on Cincinnati at 13. The first group of 5 team to make the college football playoff. I also omitted Michigan entirely, and the Wolverines ended up winning the Big Ten and reaching their first college football playoff. Jim Harbaugh's team will appear below, but how much fluctuation will occur with programs such as Clemson, Oklahoma, Miami, and Utah? So this is now not next year's, way too early top 25. This is what he thinks for the next 3 years, all right, combined. He's got number one is Alabama. Now, they don't have a number one group of any of the groups. Their quarterback rankings is 3, future offensive ranking 2, defense is 4, overall number 1. And he says the only hesitation about keeping the Tide on top is the future of Nick Saban. At 70, he's the second oldest coach in FBS, although he looks and acts like a man who can keep performing at an elite level through 2024, which would make him 23 or 73 years old at that time. Maybe, I could see there, but I don't know that it's going beyond that. They talks about Eli Holstein and what he would bring to the table, the presumed starter for 2023 and 2024 could be Eli Holstein, if it jumps right over what they've got on the table right now. So we'll see. But number 2 was Georgia, 3, Ohio State, 4, Texas A&M. That's surprisingly high for me. This year, or Jimbo, for all his bluster, needs to be doing something else. Their defense is rated 3 over the next 3 years, ahead of Alabama's, which is 4. Good bulletin board material there. Next 3 years, ahead of Alabama's, which is 4. Good bulletin board material there. Clemson, 5. Clemson's quarterback room is rated 17th, and their offense is rated 13th, but their defense is number 1. Oklahoma, 7. Michigan, 8. USC, 9. Quarterback room, number 2. Offense, number 3. Future defense, unranked. Yeah, that's always going to be a problem out there. LSU, 10. I think LSU's days as a top 10 team might be numbered right now. I really do. Miami, 11, surprisingly high. Cincinnati, 12. Oregon, Utah, 14. Penn State, 15. So I go down through the list, and I'm looking for Auburn. Florida, 22. 22. BYU, Houston Cougars. And in 25th spot is Kentucky, with the unranked quarterback room and an unranked offense, but the number 18th ranked defense. Kentucky at number 25. Kentucky's number 25 on a list that does not have Auburn on it. I mean, over the next 3 years, is Auburn not a... Maybe not. I mean, that's the perception now of Auburn, that they are just a middle-of-the-pack 6 to 8 win type of team. But that's where they're at right now. I'll tell you what, they won't have one more year like that under Brian Harsin. All right, we'll come back and wrap it up next. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Aw, you didn't have to go so all out for my birthday.
Yes, we did. Because birthdays are about showing your friends how much you care for them and how grateful you are for their... This is Jamie from Progressive. No, this is a great time. Progressive protects you 24/7. Oh, I'm sorry that happened.
Jamie.
Can you hold on one second? I gotta take this call. But remember, birthdays are about togetherness.
Contact us 24/7 on the phone, online, or on the mobile app. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Covered subject to policy terms.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
What's better than Valley Equipment Rental? 2 Valley Equipment Rentals, and that's just what we have now. The original on the South Memorial Parkway between Drake and Airport Road, and their second location on North Memorial Parkway just north of Winchester Road. Valley Equipment is locally owned and has more skid steers, excavators, and lifts than anyone in the area, plus all the small tools that you need to get the job done like a pro. And if you are a pro, you need to check out the new North location now because Valley Equipment has what you need. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Greeny with Mike Greenberg.
This is Mike Greenberg. Be sure and download the app today. Just search for 97.7 ESPN and listen to my show every weekday right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This one up with the anthem. Coming up a little bit later on, the College World Series back front and center, and we'll see. I mean, in both situations, the teams, it's basically an elimination game for Arkansas and for Texas A&M. There are 3 SEC teams alive in this thing. In a future SEC team in Oklahoma. Texas A&M plays Oklahoma. That game is coming up at 1 o'clock, followed by Arkansas and Ole Miss later on about 6 o'clock. They'll get starting there. Ole Miss beats Arkansas. They go to the championship series. Same thing for Oklahoma and Texas A&M. I think one of those two will have a deciding game tomorrow. We'll see. And, of course, we would have that, and we will have over the weekend the championship series as well. But it is rather remarkable, Grizz, that when you look at the fact that there are, in fact, 299 Division I, I said 300, but it's SEC teams, and the 4th is going to be an SEC team. I mean, it just, we joke about it just means more.
Yeah.
Because of the Jell-O shots and everything else. But it really does just mean more, and it's incredible how it continues to be that way. As dominant as the SEC is in football, they're even more dominant in baseball.
Oh, without a doubt, and baseball should be a Southern sport. It should always be a Southern sport. That's why I think softball and everything like that is more of a Western, out west kind of type sport, and that's why I think that a lot of the Southern teams, a lot of teams around here, pride themselves on being a great baseball team. So, it shows a lot. It's great to see. Like you said, it just means more.
It's an inordinate amount of players in the major leagues really come from the Southeast. It's incredible.
They're good old boys. Good old boys, man. They're just like fishermen.
You look at the number of players, even from the state of Alabama, and great players. I mean, we're talking about Hank Aaron and Willie Mays, probably 2 of the top 5 players in the history of baseball. Alabamians. All right, that's going to do it. Coming up next is the Chuck Oliver Show, followed by Texas A&M and Oklahoma, all right here on your home for champions, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of the Stanton Law Firm. Stan, I guess you are the Stanton in the law firm.